You have a job that 99.9% of guys would kill for, and you seem to think you're the one being persecuted.
Barstool Pick'em, brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is created by fans for fans. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, what are you waiting for? We've had tons of Barstool fans using it, letting us know about how great the deals are. We've been using Game Time all year. We're going to LSU Ole Miss in 2 weeks, a college football show. Very excited for that. It will be at Fred's a couple hours before kickoff. Going to be awesome event. It's so easy to use. Amazing deals. You're going to love it. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code PICK'EM for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Game Time app. Go create that login. Use code PICK'EM for $20 off your first purchase, and we'll see you at LSU Ole Miss in 2 weeks, Baton Rouge. And, use that code PICK'EM for $20 off your first purchase. Okay.
All-time Mintzy questions like, hey, do I have permission to come to Ole Miss LSU with you? Like he wouldn't be there anyways. He's just trying to get us to pay all his expenses, even though he'd be going no matter what.
I wanted to apologize, hand up on that one. I put that one on your plate because he texted me first. He was like, hey, given my history with these schools, can I come to LSU Ole Miss? And I was like, just ask Dave. Because I don't want to say yes and then have everyone, Barstool pay for everything, and everyone be like, why is Mintzy getting paid to go on a vacation? And I'm like, oh, well,
Mintzy would be at that game.
Correct.
Regardless. Correct. Mintzy probably already has Mintzy's going to that game. I didn't even respond. It's like, I know you're going, Mintzy. Regardless. Yeah. What are you asking me permission to go to something that you 100% are going to anyway, like grinding on Megan making money while Megan making money's husband's passed out cold at Fred's.
He's going to start a Mintzy chant again, though. I'm excited for that. Mintzy. All right. Week 7. I don't really know where we stand in the room. Rico's been silent to start the show. He sat down, didn't say a word.
You want to apologize, Rico?
Yeah, I fucked up New Mexico, was it?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Wyoming,
yes.
Yeah.
Wyoming.
And I'll actually throw you that clip. It's not really an apology to you. The clip that Austin put out of me being mean to Rico, being like, do not give me score updates, I came across as a dick in that watching it. Now, it didn't give the context of how Rico communicated with me in that game, which when he said good pick when it was 14-0, like 3 seconds into it, it's like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. Naturally, comes back, becomes 14-14. Then Rico didn't say a word, by the way, the rest of the game till he's like, good pick, because we had the conversation. Then he pipes up. He goes, New Mexico's in the red zone.
They're on the 8.
And then he doesn't say anything else, and they don't have the ball anymore. They got a field goal blocked, and it just infuriated me that I told you not to talk about the game. 14-0 in my mind, you jinxed it. Then it goes to 14-14. You pipe up. New Mexico's in the red zone. 2 seconds later, block field goal. Doesn't mention it. Goes silent again. Doesn't say anything the rest of the game. That's what set me off.
Only wants to give good news. It's there was a lot of. I mean, it was a war on Saturday. Dave got his teeth kicked in.
Killed.
Dave. You got your teeth kicked in so bad. I had Wyoming in that game. I didn't say anything because I was like, he needs this game so bad. I'm not going to get involved in this. I'd rather him win this than I win this.
You had winners all over the place, Dan. You were sneaky winners.
You also whisper bet me. That was also a big faux pas. I had Ole Miss Vandy under, and Dave accused me. It was 3-3 in the second quarter. He's like, that's a fucking great pick. Why'd you whisper it? Why didn't you say it out loud?
No, I said that was just a whisper pick. You do a lot. I find out you have a lot of games after they're going.
No. I yelled across the room to Dukes to put it on my card. Dave says, you whispered that pick. That's a winner, 3-3. They scored like 70 points in the next 5 minutes.
Just for those keeping score at home. Dave accused me of whispering the under in Ole Miss Vanderbilt when it was 3-3 in the second quarter. They scored 31 points in the rest of the second quarter.
That's true. I saw it was 3-3.
31 points since then.
Yeah,
it was, and I had Mintzy.
With Mintzy going absolutely bananas.
Mintzy just going, yeah! And like every 2 seconds, and he could cheer for his team, but at some point it was like they were up 20. It's like, dude, it's Vandy. Like we gotta have some decorum in this house. So yeah, it was a long day. It was a hard day. It's similar to Jerry and I having our do on NFL Sunday. When you're between the white lines, man in the arena, like things get said. You can't take them out. You can't take them with you afterwards. It was
a bad 24 hours because
bad.
I also lost quite a bit playing like live dealer blackjack. So I didn't sleep the night before, literally. Like did not sleep. Stayed up playing blackjack all night responsibly, and then wheeled it right into Saturday. And my big play was LSU against Tennessee. They got crushed. So the only game I was right on really that I remember is Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
That was a big play, but Danny Boy Kane, everything. It was it was a very, very bad Saturday.
Enjoy your favorites like the crispy chicken sandwich and an icy cold Dr. Pepper.
0-5.
Growing tomatoes, sometimes you have to toss around.
That's
It's just like politicians.
It was so bad that you refused to tell me your picks, which that's when you know it's bad. He just wouldn't tell me what he had. So yeah, it got bad. It got very bad. But we're here. It is week 6. What is that?
Thanks. I got a bad headache.
Got a bad headache.
Thank you.
I mean, if you listen to Dave Portnoy's show yesterday, they kind of did a pick 'em light. I don't really know where we stand with all of that. I don't know if Rico and Dave.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Did Rico want to apologize?
Yeah.
4?
Your behavior. Are you still going to therapy?
No. He needs to.
You have to. You have to go to therapy.
Okay.
Can we get a summary for people that might not have listened to the Dave Portnoy show?
Yeah, sure. So Dave Portnoy's show, it wasn't planned. Like during it, I think Eddie asked about Rico, and I said, classic Rico is how he interacts with Clemmer. Like he's taking some vicious shots at Clemmer. He calls him alcoholic. Clemmer's never done anything to Rico, but Rico has allegiance to Kirk, so he'll go way below the belt, as Rico's prone to do. Rico is a big, like, dish it, can't take it guy. That's always been probably his biggest issue. Like, even when, yes. So, anyways, I'll go in order. So, we're talking about it, and we're like, well, let's get Kirk on and see what he thinks about it. So, Kirk came on, and then Kirk suggested, since he's, like, Rico's new skip, let's get him a new contract. He's like, we'll get this thing done in 10 minutes. It's like, all right. So we get Rico in here and we start negotiating, and all hell broke loose, basically, because we're going back and forth. And I said something that wasn't meant to provoke Rico, and Rico went crazy. And I will say, again, he's out. Like, Rico brings all his problems on himself. Because if Rico didn't go crazy, nobody in the world would have even noticed his buzzword. Which, by the way, everybody, we'll bleep it out. Be bleeped. But everybody knows who does in the world. It's just, that comes with the territory. It's not a shot, but he lost his mind, went crazy. He also, I offered him a new contract with an 8% raise, which I shouldn't have done in real time because it puts me behind the 8 ball with everybody else, because they can see, well, Rico got this. Why don't I if someone's not getting it? But Kirk negotiated it. He didn't take it. I pulled it back. Rico went bananas. And it's always, in my mind, Rico has a persecution complex. He thinks people are coming at him. They're not. Like, they're just not. And even in that rant, he takes a shot at TiVo. Fat TiVo. Like, he just is so mean and below the belt to other people and literally cannot take it at all. When you come in, I wasn't even coming at him. Like, I literally was caught off guard when he went crazy. It wasn't meant to be like needling. And what Rico doesn't get is the only reason it becomes an issue and the only reason people fixate on him is because of Rico. Like, nobody gives a fuck. It's the most natural thing in the world. But Rico, and it's not a new thing. Rico has always had this issue since I've known him. If it's not this, it's something else. It's like he lives in a fantasy crazy world where everyone's out to get him and they're not. Now, they maybe start to come after him. That may be real, but that's because of Rico and the way he handles everything.
I've told Rico, I don't know, a billion times, I'm trying to take a new approach because I don't want to let Rico bother me because then I become a worse version of myself. But I've told him a million times when he does the, like, leave the stream when Cons is on the stream, Clemmer just says hello. Like, you don't have to be friends with everyone. I'm not friends with Clemmer. I don't like Clemmer. Like, I just don't. But if he says hello to me, I say hello to him. When he does the, like, I'm not even looking you in the eyes, I'm leaving the room, then that opens up. They have ammo on him because they're like, this guy's treating me like shit. So he creates a story out of nothing. Where if he just is like, if you can just not like someone and just be like, hey, how you doing? Like, walking down the hallway. And then that doesn't become a story.
And people could put themselves in my position, too, to agree. Rico's so rude to a lot of people at this company who I like. And when they see what they perceive as, like, he's the teacher's pet, and I know people are going to say, what do you mean teacher's pet? He gets away with murder. Rico gets away with murder here. He just does. Like, let's not forget, 6 months ago, he tried to fucking kill a guy. Like, not many people survive those incidents, and there's no appreciation, and there's no change. And I guess I'm just done, like, playing this game back and forth. I just be brutally honest with it. Like, and even Kirk, who likes Rico, you can see his face, which is the funniest part of this. He's like, what just happened? Nothing happened. And nothing.
And Rico is, I mean, you've said it, Dave. He's talented. His blogs were hilarious this week. Which 100%. I know we're going to get to the top 20. His calls with Kirk are great. I'm going to remove myself and not let myself get bothered by Rico. I'm going to try to become a rider again, but I don't really know what his answer to all that would be.
Yeah, they're valid points. Being around those people put me in a bad mindset. I try to avoid bad mindset. Like, it's definitely fucked up, but that's just how I am.
But then that creates, you understand the snowball effect.
Fair enough.
But like when you came in and left the stream, I was on the phone. I didn't even know what happened. You were in and out before. It's like, I don't know. And I don't know what set you off yesterday. Like, you came in, you were in a bad mood when you sat down. Obviously, it is content. Kirk's your guy. He's the one who, like, set the thing up. It wasn't.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, it was great content last year, but it's just like, so we're going to do it again. Like, you got to do everything on camera. It is what it is.
I don't want to do this on camera, but I know you're stressed out about this idea that you're not going to get a contract renewal. I'm pretty sure Davis said that you'd get a contract renewal. I just don't know if it's going to be like some crazy raise. So if Dave said you get a contract renewal at the same amount, does that like at least solve some of the issues here?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay. So that feels like that would be something like that's baseline, and you guys can have a private conversation, which I agree. Listen, if you don't want to do it on air, that's fine with me too, because you don't want to, become the dancing monkey. I get it. But if Dave agrees right now, like, hey, baseline, you're going to get renewed at your salary, like that would make you feel a little better, would it not?
Yeah, you don't have to fucking. Yeah, you're not worried about the end of the year. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so Dave, is he baseline going to have another year, or maybe let's call it 2 years at the same? And you guys can talk offline about whether there's a raise or anything involved. But baseline, Rico has a job on January 2nd.
Provided we're gonna have to put in, which I've said this, and I think I said it. At some point, I don't know if it's yesterday. Barstool's changed in the sense, I like, we've never been a quota group. Like, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's just like, I expect people to want to build their personal. I said on the Dave Portnoy show, I want people to be self-motivated, where they build personal equity in their own brands. So if we don't renew them, well, that's probably because they're getting a better offer somewhere else, right? And the truth of the matter is, if I don't think you've earned a renewal here, and nobody else in this industry is offering you it, you probably haven't done enough. So here's where I sit with what you just said. And I'm reading now the top 20 blog rankings from last week. Dante, 1. Hubs, 2. Riggs, 3. Thornton, 4. Marty Mush, 5. Nate, 6. Big Tennessee, 7. Matt Fitzgerald, 8. 9. Clem, 10. Steve Che, 11. Jordy, 12. Chief, 13. White Sox Dave. White Sox Dave has showed up since I've talked to him. 14. Jake Marsh, 15. RDT, 16. Pat, 17. Greeny, 18. Me, 19. Rico.
Let's
ding,
go.
Ding. And 20. Ohio State. Now, it says you did 12 blogs here, Rico. What?
I didn't say anything. Yeah, 12.
So you got in there. We said do 15. You did 12. We're going to need a blog quote because you're a good writer. And I've said it before. I'm not going to pound somebody to write who I don't think can write. That does me no good. But you are very good at writing. So
right.
If we're going to...
I was,
what?
yeah. I didn't know that that's what it was. I thought you were just looking to like, hey, fill the time, like, put the hands to the keyboard. I didn't know that you actually liked the writing.
Yeah, you when you get passionate about something, you're entertaining. That's why, like, even the Kirk angle of this, like, you doing his show more often, I think is good because you're good on there. Something about it, you become old school Rico, and that's the guy that everyone likes.
And so, I got to be, and one thing about this progression, always with this show, it's like a therapy session. This was gradual, like it's blog more. It wasn't, and then week one, you didn't do it. And then it's like, are you listening? Blog more. Didn't do it. What are you waiting for? This is me, your boss, saying your contract's coming up. Blog more. Didn't do it. I think it was the 4th. Till it's like we get in the thing. It's like you're gone if you don't. Like, that's not on me. That's on you. Like, I couldn't have been clearer, and not in the beginning like an overly condescending way, just blog. And you just, so for me, it's like I can't just throw money out the window.
Yeah, I get it. You got her in the spot.
So it sounds like Dave is saying that you have a contract if you keep working.
Correct.
Which makes sense. That feels like a fair trade to work.
Like that answer, which you were caught in the moment of like, well, why don't you do anything? Some weeks you're like, my brain turns off. Like, what am I supposed to do with that answer?
Yeah, it's not necessarily shut off, but like, I don't know. I rather.
But
yeah.
you're coming at
spending that the gas one took like an hour and a half of like, all right, how do I get this angle? Like, what's a way to tie it all in? Of like, I'm just saying. So
that's not a lot of time. Like, that defeats. That's anti your argument.
All right.
Like, and you're talking to a guy, Dan and I, who put up 10 to 15 blogs daily. So there is no, and at times you get this. When a lot of people hear what you say, like my brain takes a week off, people would die for your job. Literally die. It's a slap in the face to everybody who's working in the cube 9 to 5, 9 to 6, riding the subway at 6 a.m. To hear somebody so callously be like, well, some weeks my brain's off. You have a job that 99.9% of guys would kill for, and you seem to think you're the one being persecuted. And that can echo beyond Rico. It's always been the grass is always greener on the other side. It ain't. This is Disneyland.
That's a fact. So, I mean, it seems like Dave is saying that you will have a new contract if you keep working hard.
All right.
So, does that solve any of your issues?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's great. Again, I'm taking a new approach to Rico. I'm not going to be hard on him. I'm trying to lift him up because it's just I feel like I'm a coach that's tried every single angle and none of them
Now,
have worked.
I am conflicted because the freakouts are hilarious. Like, I mean, they
Yeah.
are
Yeah, I
great
mean,
content. But, like, at the same time, what people don't get is not an act. And obviously, it's like I am sort of torn because it is great content. And I truly, in my heart of hearts, it wasn't like I didn't do it to provoke you. I don't feel badly like, Dave, you're being a mean guy because I don't think it's my fault. I think it's like deep RICO issues. But we can't get you to be throwing the can again. Like, I don't want you to go there where you try to murder somebody. So,
yeah, it's a tough balancing act, though, when you say, like, you're only, your best stuff and your only value is, like, when you're freaking out. Like,
No.
it takes a mental toll.
I think he just said that you're a good writer.
that's what we've been saying for a month.
You're
Yeah,
a
all
good writer. So that's not freaking out. Like, you're a good writer. I think you're
Calling into Kirk. This show can work when we're
Yeah,
just
right.
talking. We go on rants. These freakouts aren't like, and everyone's like, program. They're not like planned. The reason the contract wasn't discussed or put in, it's like, I for what? Like, because you've been with us, like, okay, renewal for what? You weren't doing what I was asking you to do.
Yeah.
Right.
We are a gambling company. Like, when you try to do the straight gambling stuff and that the narrative comes out last night, like, yeah, anything he does straight sucks. So it's all right. So I guess, yeah.
Wait, where was that narrative?
Was said anything else you do, like,
By who?
you said it, Gaz said it last night, I thought. At least that's what I heard.
He's talking about college basketball.
Like even straight gambling. Pick Central, hot, like, gambling.
I didn't say
Like,
anything about Pick Central. Gaz said Dan and I pull stuff out of you. That's a fact. Again, I don't know if it's an insult. Dan and I are good at our job. A big problem we have is your college basketball show sucked.
got it.
That is not a personal attack on you. I don't mean it as you. That's just unbiased. If you go put, like, how you screen movies and, like, people come back, that show never was going to score well, and the results showed it. That's not because I have an agenda or being mean. Like, if the show was good, the results would have been there. It was a long enough run where it would have shown itself, and it didn't. You take that as me coming at you personally. It's not.
No, you're right. Yep, numbers are the numbers.
Yeah, but we had a long conversation about that off the record.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a personal attack.
No, I got it.
I think he thinks it's a personal.
He definitely thinks it's a personal
I
attack.
didn't say that.
But when you say gut it, you don't gut it.
Yeah. Listen, ready? Blogging, you're good at. Streams, when you have something invested, you're good at. You're very good at calling into Kirk's show. I think this show is very good. Like, those, I just listed 4 things that I think that you're good at.
And by the way,
that don't really
Rico,
have freakouts.
if you're going to be, like, I consider myself, for the most part, I can dish it and I can take it. Like, even though, I'm kind of top, our employees can be, like, say shit to me, and I don't have the true hatred. I don't mind you dishing it. I think but you can't dish it and then not be able to take it and then isolate and not do it. Like, you have started every beef here. You just have. So, well, what is that?
That's where you guys vary. Like, I remember history differently, and there's definitely a few where the first punch was thrown. So, it's not this one. I'm just saying. Like, I take a lot of pride. You had a fight to get here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and when people are saying how bad you suck from day one, and then they come in the door, it's like, yeah, I don't really forget that. So,
I mean, I don't really know. I don't want to relitigate every beef, but, like, Blackjack, we've been over. You did not like the fact that when there was a season when Dave and you were not on Pick'em and I had to do the whole season. We had to find someone. We did an internship challenge. You did not like that.
And if you're saying, like, Clemmer, like, talk shit about me or Barstool, I don't care. Like, I do not care. Why would you care? If Nadeau said shit before he got here about Barstool, I do not care. Like, people can talk shit. They can say whatever they want. I don't care. Why do you care? Are you, like...
Because it was directly about me.
But people are saying stuff... People said stuff about me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I had a fight to get here. That's why, I don't know. It's a
lot of people have had to.
I got it. It's a lot of self-pride in that. Like, it's a...
What do you mean you had to fight to get here? Relatively speaking, you didn't.
And we did have a job offer for a long time on the table.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what I mean. You just live in, like, a alternate reality.
All right.
Which is fine, but I don't want you to murder anybody.
Got it. Yeah, you got to work your way in. Like, it's... I mean, We navigated through. Like, you were a caller, then like you network a little bit. I reached out to you like, hey, something crazy happened. Like, should I be on live? And then, all right, stay consistently live.
Why don't you just worry about yourself, though?
I've given that speech to a million people here.
Because while I was doing that, I didn't involve anyone else here.
But the people who listen to me when I give that speech are the most successful people here. They are. I tell them all the time, worry about yourself. Do your own thing. And then your part of you doing your own thing is taking shots at people. If they take a shot back, it is what it is.
What do you think? What do you think about Minahan's point that Clemmer only gets reaction? And I think it goes for a lot of other people, and Nadeau being one of them. That there's a lot of people that know that if they talk about RICO, they're going to get a reaction that they don't get otherwise. So they do it, and that encourages it. And then you guys encourage that.
Okay, but that's where I told RICO, if you just say hello to Clemmer in the hallway, you don't have to be his friend. You don't have to do content with him. You don't have to even fucking have a conversation with him. If you just, when he comes up and says hello to you, you don't just turn your face and walk out. Clemmer doesn't have anything on him. He literally can't write that blog. That's where I'm like, RICO kind of did that to himself, because the way he like treated him like subhuman, then Clemmer can respond. And I agree, Clemmer doesn't have anything right now. And so him doing it, latching onto the RICO hate is a smart move by him. And that is how he's going to try to build himself up. But you started that by giving him the angle. That's what I've tried to explain to you. When someone walks in the office and you disappear, or someone's on the stream and you walk out, you've given them the angle. So and I'm trying to help you when I tell you, don't give them the angle if you don't want to have the whatever comes after that.
Fair.
That's really, I feel like that's a very simple point that gets missed. You give them the in.
Yeah, and not to go too deep, changing maybe a little, I think RICO, the Mount Ridemore stuff, I think he truly sees the company that way. So it's like disrespectful if somebody he views way below him takes a shot at RICO. It's like, how dare you? I'm like one of the titans of this company, and that's just not true.
That's just not. You think whatever you think. Obviously not. And you said 10, 50. Like, not everybody's fucking Jordan and Pippen. I get it. I'm just looking to get a roster spot. So that's where you think, like you've said forever, oh, he's crazy. We've had a ton of conversations where it's not.
You are nuts.
Got it.
I don't think you're nuts. I think you just don't. Like, there's not a single person in this office that I've given more earnest, off-the-record advice to, and you have taken zero of it. Like, you've literally, and that's where I'm trying to change my angle here, where it's like, I'm not going to let this bother me. You can do whatever you want. I'll help you. I'll be a friend. But I'm kind of out on, like, the giving advice thing, because I'll tell you what to do, and you just won't listen to anything I say. And it's like, all right, okay, then I gotta use my time better.
I think you're nuts. I think you're cuckoo. I think you got to be in therapy for the rest of your life, once a week. And that's not a bad thing. Therapy is not a bad thing. But you need it. Like, people who think that freak out yesterday was fake, it wasn't. It's as real as it gets, just like throwing that thing as real as it gets, and I didn't see it coming. So, and I like you, RICO.
You say you don't see it coming. Like, how many times was I like, can we not do the negotiations on camera? Like, so I don't know. It's just, you keep putting.
Honestly, you haven't said that to me once.
Okay.
You've said it to me, and what have I done? Have we done a negotiation on camera?
No. Yeah, you're right.
So I listened to you.
You're right. I should have conveyed that more. I guess I never said it. You're right.
He did say it to me, and I have not. I've respected.
Now, I don't know that I would have even listened to it, but you didn't say it to me. If I'm being totally honest, like that's all the stuff. It's like, what have you like? Content is content for me. That's what we do. You can't pick and choose what content like. That's just not. It'll never work with that. Like, I can't work with you, RICO. I'll have to not do. It's almost like when Smitty the shower. It's like, all right. I will not do anything with you ever again, Smitty. If that's how you want me to be, RICO,
I'm not saying that.
Then don't tell me what I can and can't do for content.
You're right. You're the boss. I apologize.
I'll respect that. If, like, I always will. If somebody's like, no, you can't go here, to me, we should be able to go there. That's part of what we've built up over however long this is doing it. And like arguably our most famous clip is the timeout. Like to be like, nope, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to be your monkey, or however you put it. The dynamic is the dynamic, but if you really don't want that, I won't do it, but we're done content. I'm done doing anything with you. So it's your choice.
I didn't say that. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Because I'll always do that with anybody. I'm not in here to like, I have my boundaries. If people are like, nope, I can't, the way you do things, the way you needle, whatever, I'm not cool with that, then I'm not going to do it. And I won't be in content. That means you can still have a job. It's not like you're out of a job. But if you interacting with me is important for like you, that's something you're cutting out, which will be evaluated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, leave it all on the table.
Okay. So is this productive at all or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's at least a little bit productive in the fact that Dave's telling you that if you keep working, you have a job.
That's always been the case.
And don't stress about, I know you're stressed, but I'm trying to tell you, again, I'm going against what I just said, not giving you advice. It seems like you have a job and you shouldn't stress about January 1st if, like I've told you many times, you put your head down and you work. People who work get rewarded here. Dave has always been fair. I've told the story a million times. Back in the day when it was like 6 of us, Dave would call me up in December and be like, here's your new salary because you've been crushing it. It wasn't like hey, I need this, I need that. Like, that's just how it's worked. He's always been fair with money. He's always been fair with people who work hard. So, and
by the way, it's
that
not even my money anymore.
No,
like,
I know.
But I mean that in a way like I'll fight like for my guys, and when I say my guys, content. Like the more I can get for content people, the better. It's not coming from my fucking wallet. Why would I want everybody? We're in a different world a little bit, where like salaries sometimes get what like here we sure there like, and that's where I'm like, well, as much as a joke. If I can be like top 20 blogger and this and that helps me. But you can't just be like, well, I worked my way in as a caller and network, so I should get 2x raises every year, even though I really haven't done anything.
Got it. I think you're splitting hairs there. I didn't really, but okay, you're right.
Wait, splitting hairs. Well, I'm not saying you asked for a 2x raise. I was giving an example.
All right, got it. I thought it was yeah.
So we're all on the same page. We work hard. And then things work out. I think that's probably what's going to be the case. You work hard, and things find a way to work.
And I'm going to
themselves
say
out.
this, and this I've heard whispers. This can go for RICO. This can go for a lot of people, probably as a company. Well, if this person's making X, why am I making this person or this or that or whatever or the other thing? We're no different than athletic team. Sometimes you sign people. And the contract, in hindsight, looks like a bargain. It's like, oh my God, we got this person at that deal. We got Alex Cooper for $70,000 to start. She's bringing in fucking millions to the company. What a steal. Other times you're like, oh, this person's expensive, but worth it. And the contract may not work out. And guess what? When that renewal's up, it's like, that may not be worth it. The moral of the story is you can't worry about what anybody else is doing except yourself.
Mm-hmm. Or what anyone else is making except yourself.
Because you don't know how they're being viewed, what their contract looks like, why they were assigned. You can't. You just can look at yourself. And if you worry about yourself and do your job here, Belichick, it will take care of itself.
Does he need to say that last sentence again? Because that's the most important sentence that I've told you a million times.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Because you know that I've told you that. Many times, privately, worry about yourself. Everything will work out.
And
work
the best
hard.
part of that story is if it doesn't work out here, but you're doing your job and doing well, it didn't work out here because somebody fucking rolled out a Brinks truck for you somewhere else. Like, look at the people we lost. The people we've lost have gone on to be megastars making fucking millions upon millions. They didn't go because like Dave won't pay. It's like, oh, we can't fucking match that. But those people, that's what I want. That's my ideal scenario, as much as it sucks for every employee is like, can we afford it? That's great. And like they're sitting there with other offers because we built them and look around, that's what we've become. I'm like, I made fun a little bit of like Owen on the other day, but when you're starting to get the Owens plucked, the only person you got to blame if you don't get what you want is yourself. Because we're not the only company out there.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. I think maybe he's got it. We'll see.
No, I don't know. We'll see. We got it for the next 5.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of it is this is the only spot I want to be, so it's
Right,
like,
that's
I
great.
don't want to keep fucking going
This is the Minahan show. Did you know Minahan was part of the Barstool Network?
Yes.
And I think you
When
have
it
been
became
great,
evident I wasn't going to line up, I started looking at potential suitors.
but he's Barstool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do.
I don't.
I don't know if that does
That
register.
check book is this. I'm signing both those checks.
All right. He's made jokes on the show. He pays it out of his own pocket. So maybe that was the
So that was
Well,
the
the
angle.
joke that I
was
didn't
the
get.
angle.
Maybe that was the joke I didn't get.
Okay,
He
that
may
is very
actually
funny.
like the small, but not $100,000 for once a week, guys.
Took a fucking shot.
I mean, you are great on that show, and I love Kirk. Kirk will say like there's very few people that listen to his show and have his back in this office. I consider myself one of them. You have been great on that show, but he is Barstool. He's
Barstool now.
he's our
Yeah.
coworker.
Right. I
Right.
wasn't expecting Barstool to do that deal. I was expecting
Oh, so you're
It's
going to
like-
leave Barstool for Kirk's show?
Mike did it.
No,
He's paying him out of pocket. I'm just saying it
no.
was a
I don't. I don't.
it was
I
a
don't think
potential
Mike
suitor.
Did, I don't think Mike did do that. I think
He might
like,
have now. He might now.
No, I know, but I don't.
don't
We
like-
did
yeah.
pay blind Mike.
Yeah.
and then I think we stopped and.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of the joke I didn't get then.
Okay.
I don't like driving, so like I was looking at a different option. That's
Yeah,
really
okay.
I
All
don't
right,
like
that's-
retail. I obviously have no patience. I wouldn't have been good there, so it's like all right,
I'm
I'll
being
take the
dead
shot
serious.
here.
Like, and this, I don't mean this because, listen, I could probably use fucking therapy, and I'd love to do like meditation. You need therapy. Why aren't you in therapy once a week for the rest of your life?
I'm here every day. Becomes difficult to
But what about with BetterHelp? Why don't you do the ad read?
better help.
BetterHelp, they literally, you can do therapy online. You can do a Zoom call. You don't even have to be on. You don't even have to show your face.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be
There we
tough
go.
to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life. But when you learn to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or how small. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists anytime. When you want to be a problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/pick'em today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/pick'em.
Use it. You want me to start
Please.
using it?
That may be thrown in the contract, not as like me doing me being like the nicest human in the world. Like, you need it, buddy. You need it.
It works. I told the story when we were both on Kirk's show last week. I had a guy, one night it was late night. I think it was like after Sunday taping PMT. I can't fall asleep. It's like 1 a.m. He's tweeting mean shit at me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird out of nowhere. I just go look at his profile, and he's got like, I want to say like, suicidal tweets, like weird tweets. So I DM'd him. I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm just reaching out. Like, I don't think you personally hate me. I think you're just having a bad time. Why don't you sign up for BetterHelp? I'll pay for the first month. He did it. I paid for the first month. He hit me up a couple months later, was like, this has been a revelation. Like, therapy helps.
I don't even, honestly, that's a great gesture, but honestly, almost like Creed thoughts. The things that I don't even know that we want to expose a therapist to Rico's brain, even if we just have like an AI therapist to hear, like, you're just spitting into a vacuum because honestly, I don't know what goes on in that brain of yours. I don't know even a trained professional is ready for it. But you got to let it out.
She was helping for a little
Yeah,
while.
sure she was. We should create that. I should have Quigs create like an AI therapist. I can give him the script, and it would just be like, yes, Rico, Dave and Dan are wrong. Yes, Rico, Clemmer is an alcoholic. Yes, Rico, Nadeau is a bad guy. Like he just repeats everything back to him, where he could just be like, just
and
spitting
Rico,
it
as
at
much
it.
as you think like the blow up from yesterday, like giving information and background, like you're unfair. Trust me when I say I have it 100x worse than you. All my information's out there, unfortunately, and people, not stoolies, being like trying to get it. People truly despise me. Like they view me in a political sense of like, should I get security? It sucks, but like. There's an element of this culture you cannot prevent, and it's certainly not saying anything.
Yeah, I do struggle with. I think 97% of our fans are unbelievable, but I think the 3% can do 90%, 97% bad acts. And why they think they're entitled to fucking do that.
But
and why
then you should have never come here, because that isn't unique to us. That's like that, and you can complain about culture, paparazzi, fame, whatever you want to call it. That is a social contract you just make. There's no, like, you can complain about that forever. There's no way to avoid it. None.
And another tip. I keep doing this because I shouldn't give you tips, but your response to people when they like a tweet that's seen as an insult and you DM them and say fuck you and block them, that adds to it. It becomes a snowball where it's like, we can get him, we got him, we're gonna do it, we're gonna go more.
On the flip side, I'm eliminating one person from my perfect euphoria of only people I want to be
you're
around.
eliminating one and creating 10.
Yes,
you're eliminating one and creating 10.
Right. So that's where I'm trying to get you to understand, like, your action creates a reaction.
Got it.
And by the way, it's not new, because the time we went to, was it Luger's, the very first time we met, you had this issue back then. You gotta get the let's get some picks, but get some help.
Let's talk
get some
sports.
Help.
Can I tell them my idea, Rico? The email account that I made?
Yeah.
I made an email account called ricounblocks@gmail.com. I'll put out a blog later, maybe under your name, so you get one blog count for the week that started for the top 20. This is the blog buddy idea, but we'll go through applications. We'll unblock some people. We'll have some good vibes. And if they get blocked twice, they're blocked forever.
Yeah.
I think that's a rule. If they get unblocked and you block them again, they'll be X'd off forever and they're out of your life.
And we can make a blog out of it, a weekly blog, a Rico Unblocks blog, where it's just, here's the application, and you can basically be judge, jury, and executioner. Like, I've seen, read the, put the email in the blog. This is actually the easiest blog ever to make, because Dukes is already doing the hard part. You get the application, you copy and paste the email, and then you give a ruling.
And see, this is where I'm actually being truly honest, because I think that's great content. I think that will create more talk or buzz around blocking, which you don't want. Just never mention it again.
Yeah.
Just stop doing it. Don't mention it, and it'll slowly go away. It will.
He's right. If you find a way to ignore the 3%, as you say, it doesn't.
And by the way,
stops getting
can't you just
stronger.
mute them? They don't even know they're fucking blocked.
Yes.
Yeah, but then if I get hot, I don't want them telling me.
True. You didn't think about that, Dave. What if he gets hot on his picks?
I don't think we got to worry about that.
All right. Well, that's good segue.
Leading the month on Pick Central.
Pat Hale's standings. Dave's 56, 57, and 3, 49.6%. I'm 122, 125, and 6, 49.4%. Rico, little comeback, 42 and 50, 45%.
Yeah, I think, what did I start? Like fucking 0 and 8?
Yeah. Bob Diaco's standings. Dave's still in
2
first.
2 and 9.
With
Yeah.
Dukes. Katie is in second. I'm in third. And then you have Rico, Liam, Aria, and then Hank in last.
Yeah, so I got to get in front of this one. I got to move out of the parlay.
Yeah, are you relegating yourself?
I was 0 and 1, then 3 and 1, now I'm 3 and 4. Yeah, you got to move back.
Okay. So who's standing? Is Katie going to be in your place? Katie's hot.
Katie has been hot.
Okay. Should we do it?
Okay.
All right. So Katie will be part of the parlay. Maybe that's the new way to do it. Is just the top 3 people are in the parlay. So Dukes, you in?
Yeah, man.
Dukes, Dave, and Katie. They're the 1, 2, 3 in the Bob Diaco standings. That will be the parlay. And whenever someone else hops into third, we'll move them in. Okay?
Sounds
yeah,
good.
Makes sense.
All right, that's good. All right. We got a great slate, boys. We got a great
slate.
fucking slate of college football. There are
I'm going and I'm driving. I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando on Saturday night. So I missed the night games.
Ooh, okay. That's tough. But
What's the costume?
I'm not wearing a costume. It's just like you go into. It's like it's Universal. Guess how much a Halloween Horror Night ticket costs?
$84.99.
$400.
whoa.
Wait,
haunted house.
Universal Studio. Oh, I thought you were
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a hayride. Oh,
For
yeah,
one or
yeah.
2?
One.
Whoa.
It's $400 a person for the haunted mansion. I guess they have like 8 mansions that are haunted, like each themed, and you go. It's a big deal, I guess, in Orlando. So we're doing that Saturday night. After I'll get the noon and the Tennessee
3:30.
Alabama. I'll miss USC.
Okay, so we have 6 games that we're going to talk about because there's 6 games on the slate.
Is
That
Silvana a big Halloween person?
Understatement.
What's the all right? So give the people.
I think most girls are.
Yeah.
Understatement. I
I stand by Halloween was only good for 4 or 5 years as a kid, and then in college, and it was horrific everywhere else. That's where
I'm not a huge. I mean, it's fun. It's actually good in Miami because it's like a huge thing. All the clubs went. No, I wouldn't be going out. Silvana is very much like I would say this is her favorite holiday.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Any hints on the costumes yet?
I know what's happening, but I can't reveal.
Ooh. Okay.
Damn.
All right, let's get into the games. Dave, you're up first. Penn State at Michigan. Big noon kickoff. Get the day rolling. There's 6 ranked, first-ranked games, by the way. 6, which is the most in 5 years.
So the point spread is 7, right?
7. So the point spread's 7. The over/under is 52.
I don't know why I said point in front of spread. Listen, I think Michigan's going to win the game. And I like what they did, Maryland. Dan, I gave you that winner. You're welcome. After you were motherfucking me the entire, Michigan sucks, Michigan this. You were doing a Frank the Tank.
Yeah, I was. I was getting negative.
Second half was easy.
I was getting
they
negative.
killed them in the second half. By the way, I love that because they're in a look-ahead spot. Last week, they were very slow. At halftime, they looked around like, what are we doing? And they just absolutely mutilated this team in the second half. That, to me, is a good sign. Michigan wins the game. I think Penn State's pretty close. 7 is too many in my mind. So betting this game, which I will not, I would take Penn State. But for the purpose of this show and the fact I went to Michigan, I'm going to take Michigan. But if you're hearing what I'm saying, if I was putting real money down, I would take Penn State. I think Michigan wins a close game.
Okay. Rico.
I'm weirdly in the same spot where I think the bad guys are the right side, but I'll never bet on the bad guys. So I got to go with Michigan, but I don't love it. So with Dave, if you're reading between the lines and you have no moral compass, put your money on the Colt.
Okay.
I won't be, but you could put your money on the Colt.
Okay, I'm going to I think Penn State as well, +7. I also like the under 52. I just think that this is a game both teams are going to try to man up football and
the
a little
thing that
slower.
worries me about that total, Dan, and you said one time under, I could see this being very low, close scoring game, but then like 4 lead changes at the very end when people have to go fast.
Right.
So it's like 20 points, 21 points, 24 points the last 5 minutes.
Right, when there's game pressure on,
Correct.
They
And
both
it's
are
like,
fuck it, we got to do this.
Yeah, and the score is changing at the very end. It could happen, and it's not that high. But no, that worries. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Okay. Where do you sit on Harbaugh? Do you think Harbaugh has like figured it out now? Because like his big thing was, he couldn't get over Ohio State. He obviously did that. But is that just magically fixed now? Like, is he an automatic 11-win guy, or are they still gonna be? They could be in the 10-2, 9-3 range with a bad loss.
Years they were just getting smoked by Ohio State, which Dan thinks they will again. I mean, they haven't played anybody, so this game will show a lot.
Yeah. I think they will get smoked by Ohio State, but that's a different conversation. I think Ohio State's just
that's
worlds better than everyone right now.
I'm getting gun shy on that because I loaded up on it so much last year, and they obviously proved me wrong.
Yep.
But, I mean, this Ohio State team's really.
I mean,
really
they
good.
haven't beaten anybody either.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, but the way they've beaten teams,
But they always
is
do
different.
that. There's some teams that always do that, and then they'll lose.
I think
It's
the
like
bottom of the Big Ten is not great either. So like we don't know much.
No, that's you could say that most years. Okay, next game. So Penn State all around. I have the under as well, 52. Alabama.
No, I'm Michigan.
Oh, you're Michigan.
I'm Michigan as
Oh yeah,
well.
sorry, my bad. Michigan. I have Penn
I
State.
hate it though, but
And
yeah.
the under. Next game, huge game, awesome game. 3:30. Alabama at Tennessee. Alabama, what they did last week was a debacle.
Crime.
That quarterback is so bad, Milroy. He just loves to give over the ball. Yeah, numbers that it was bad.
$200,000 swing for me, Dan.
I mean, it
You
was
weren't
bad.
gonna
It was
say
bad.
the numbers. Do you find it? You appreciate it.
It was
No,
bad.
that's just one game. That's not how much I lost the week that
Oh, okay.
Saturday.
All right.
Yeah.
That was
And
what.
well,
Well, you
no,
weren't
no,
given
no.
any. You weren't given anything. So this
No,
is
no,
all right,
because
all right.
in that one of them I can't really blame Dan, even though he I can because he's sitting to my right, and I don't know what I'm like -4 because Dan just kept talking. He's like, oh, they can't stop him. They're gonna, and then like third quarter, I'm like, well, they're only -14. He's like, yeah, do it, and then I just did it again. They
I
were
did it
never
as well.
close to
I
covering-
did it as
they were
well.
Never close to covering the 14.
Listen, I could say the same about what happened with Miami, and I don't want to say it, but all week you were telling me Utah was like UCLA is the play. UCLA is the play. No one listened to me on that.
Well, I liked that one a lot. I wasn't as strong an opinion on A&M. I was ready to be swayed. I really liked Utah.
And I gave you that under at the end of the night.
Not to mention Miami. Yes, that's Danny Boy Kane. Yes, that's mine. You came in the morning.
I know,
and you
I saw the
got
donut.
It. You said
I
you
saw
got a
the donut.
Danny Boy donut at your shop.
What do you want me to
doubled
say?
it.
I saw it.
doubled it.
I looked
That
at it. I
is
was
how
like,
fucked up my brain is. When you showed me that donut, I went right back under the hat, doubled my bet.
I mean, Miami-
Like, what are you doing? Settle down, Dave.
What makes it worse about Alabama is you were dead on about Texas
I know.
A&M from the get-go.
I know.
I know.
My hand up.
We even flipped.
I gave you a winner at the end of the night though. That was so easy. You were out by then, but I was giving you some good info. This one was a bad one.
This game has me in the spin cycle because my favorite play last week was LSU, and Tennessee dominated them. Although Brian Kelly should be fucking fired, but because the early game LSU was just like it's just one of those games. They fumbled the opening kick and it was over. Since then, they got stuffed on 4th and 1. So I watched every play of that, hoping for a miracle. It never came. Tennessee was dominant. I watched Alabama get fucking basically almost lose and look like shit. The quarterback's coming back. So I got on one side Alabama, who looked like trash. On the other side, you have Tennessee, who looked unbelievable. You have Tennessee +7 now.
7.5.
home. Everything. You'd have to be a moron to take Tennessee using your gambling brain. And I am taking Tennessee like a fucking idiot and the over.
I am on both of those as well. I am now. So I was right on Texas. I had Texas against Alabama. That was easy. I was very wrong on Alabama versus Texas A&M. Maybe Alabama's just not that great. Maybe they're just they're. And when I say not that great, I mean they probably will still go to the college football playoff. They probably have a chance to win a national title. They're just not the Bama
That's
that
what I
rolls
thought
people.
when I took Arkansas, and then they literally are running for 80 yards a carry.
But Arkansas is bad. They have problems.
Well, Arkansas gets that SEC bump of like they're a top 10 team. No, they're not. They're a top 10 team because they're an SEC team. Take the conference away. The SEC always
I thought
Oh,
go look at
Arkansas was pretty good.
Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky's fantastic. They were ranked
Well,
high.
they didn't have their quarterback.
No, well they lost
they
to
didn't.
Ole Miss, Kentucky, even before Levis was out.
that was a pretty close game.
I'm just saying,
And Ole Miss
I don't
is a
know if
tough
Ole
team.
Miss is
Kentucky should have won that game.
granted,
Period.
but I don't think they're I don't know. I think a lot of these SEC teams like get that bump. That's what you see with a lot of these things. With that said, I mean, if this kid comes back, everybody,
Who? Bryce Young?
yeah. If he comes back, it changes it, obviously. That's why
I'm going to tell you what the problem is. If he comes back, Tennessee's defense looked great. Yeah, they're not going to stop Alabama.
No.
And eventually Alabama, I think, is going to stop Tennessee. I'm saying all this stuff. I have Tennessee in the over. Whatever.
It's a tough spot because I really do think this Tennessee team is dialed in, and there's a lot to make of Saban on the road struggling. Like that Arkansas one was the only one he covered in his last 6 on the road. So maybe Bama is beatable on the road. I'm going to take Tennessee in the over.
All right, so we all agree.
I just think Tennessee is dialed in, and something's a little bit different. And I agree with you. I think Saban's lost a little bit of his step. Bama's not as elite as anybody else.
Switch me to Alabama in the over. I'm listening to it, and I know what the move is, and that's the move.
I wouldn't go as far as saying Saban. Didn't they just win a national title 2 years ago?
Give me Alabama in the over. I'm
losing
sorry,
a step
Tennessee.
in the sense of like,
you know what? I may not even bet this
showing
game.
everyone. You get what I'm saying?
I may not bet this game because I want to root for Tennessee, but it's the wrong side.
So
this is the wrong side.
What is your pick?
Alabama in the over.
Okay, I'm taking. Okay.
There's also the horrible part of hitting submit against Alabama.
See, I'm not scared about that
shitting
anymore.
your pants all the time when they do what they did to Arkansas. So
yeah. Okay.
It's a watch for me, but I'm taking Tennessee in the over.
All right.
And
I got that as well.
It's gonna sound crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee wins the game outright. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, they're their offense is electric. Rico, do the other ad, and then we'll do the last. We have 4 more games. 4 more games, then we'll do our cards and get out of here.
Testosterone is an important part of a man's body and health, but men's testosterone starts to deplete with age, which is why it's important to support it early. Signs of low T can include a decline in energy and stamina, weight gain, hair loss, and low sex drive. Roman's testosterone support supplements were designed by real doctors to help men maintain their body's natural testosterone production. The daily supplement includes 6 nutrients to help support testosterone levels, bone health, and muscle development. Who wouldn't want to have proper levels of testosterone in their body? We have a special offer for just our listeners. Use this link to get 20% off your first order. Just go to GetRoman.com/pick'em today. That's GetRoman.com/pick'em for 20% off. And now Roman Tea Support is available nationwide at retail. Find Roman Tea Support in the supplements aisle at your local Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
Okay, next up. Oklahoma State at TCU. TCU -4, over under 68.5. This is going to be a great game.
Excellent game.
Great game. Chaos in the Big 12. Dave, what are we thinking?
This whole week, I'm looking. I said I didn't like the card last week. I bet it. I got killed. This week is a spin cycle. Everything's fucking with my brain. I think Oklahoma State is easy here with the points. I'm taking Oklahoma State in the over, but I'm not comfortable with it. I feel like I'm taking a rat line.
Rico.
I'm rooting for both of these coaches to run through and shock people and make it into the playoffs. I love Dykes and I've loved Gundy forever. One of them is obviously going to get eliminated now. This is a great game. I think offenses in the Big 12 are starting to come back. You saw the numbers. You were getting totals in the Big 12 at like 51, 54. And say what you will, everyone was kind of saying, oh, Oklahoma State has a great defense, good defensive line. They've given up a lot of points in Big 12 play. They also gave up fuck ton to Central Michigan in the opener, Katie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck ton there. So, like, the Big 12 is starting to come back. It's a high number, and you need a lot to go right. But I love Dugan. I love Oklahoma State. I watch both these teams go up and down. The easy play to me here is the over, 68.
Okay.
And for the record, Kansas was better than TCU. Kansas should have beaten TCU.
No, by 2 scores. I will 100% admit that. Thought Kansas should have beaten them by 2 scores. TCU did not look great.
I had Kansas +7. The fact that didn't cover was a joke. I also had Kansas. I live bet them at like +300.
It's a testament to football numbers, though. It does cost you a little juice, but you could have been on the right side either way. If we laid 6.5, you're on the right side.
The refs fucked them.
People think I'm stupid. 7.5, 6.5. It's always better to be a winner than a push.
People call you stupid for that?
Yeah, they mock it. What do you mean football numbers? Yeah. Numbers land. Look, games land on football numbers.
Yeah, but you don't. Over the long run, you lose more doing it that way.
Okay, I'm taking Oklahoma State in the over as well, +4 over 68.5.
It's Sponge Square Bob Pants this weekend.
Well, it's an underdog. I have 3 underdogs.
Yeah, who do you think's going to win?
It's an obvious underdog, though.
Yeah,
I'm on the same side.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I get you being on the same side as you. You're not actually going to gamble this week, so hopefully we have a great week. You know that's how it will go.
No, I know. That's like the meanest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Well, wouldn't you be happy if you get your confidence back and I win?
No, that doesn't help my confidence. If I have winning weeks when I'm not playing, that just means my losing week's sitting there like circling my
Ready to
boat
go,
for when I get back in the water.
That is true. Like just being like, oh, I'm hot, but I'm not playing. You're just going to walk into quicksand.
Correct.
All right. NC State at Syracuse. Next ranked.
This is crazy. This is a
ranked. I'll start. I'm going to take Syracuse first half -1.5. I think Leary is out. I believe Leary is out. I don't think NC State's going to be able to move the ball effectively. Syracuse's defense has been good, and in that, I think it's going to be like a rockin' Carrier Dome. Also, NC State's best cornerback, Shaheed Battle, is out for the first half because of targeting last week against Florida State. I don't want to fuck with just weird shit because I can't trust Syracuse, and it's also 3.5 right now for the game, so I'm just going to take Syracuse -1.5 first half. Rico.
Yeah, it sucks. Leary's the game changer. I thought it was 50-50. Is he saying he's out?
It's all but confirmed, basically.
That he's out?
Like, it's trending highly towards that.
Yeah. Syracuse in the Dome, I mean, they get people out there. That's a good environment, obviously. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'd probably lay it with Syracuse. Babers does show up in big games. And he had this team, was it like 9-0? What was that game when they were like 9-0 against Notre Dame? It's going back a couple of years, but he's been pretty good at Syracuse, quietly.
Yeah. Okay, so you have Syracuse -3.5 for the game. Dave.
Weren't they terrible last year or the year before?
There was a couple years ago where
that's the
decent.
frustrating part is he can't put it all together, but there have been some good years. Yeah, and he was in, I believe, in the famous.
When he popped on the scene and like beat Clemson.
And he was in the famous, he was in your famous Bowling Green game. Nearly positive he coached that team. MAC championship.
Yes.
The quarterback of Syracuse, sure, he's a nice guy. He takes sacks like no other. He's the old Drew Bledsoe where he just runs directly backwards and doesn't get rid of the ball. He'll take a 20-yard loss. Don't like the game. Not going to bet the game. It's almost impossible. If someone else was saying it, I'd almost make fun of it. But I think it's literally going to come down to like a last-second field goal, which is that's threading a needle. So I will take the points in NC State.
Okay, so you're +3.5. Next up, Mississippi State at Kentucky. Big game. Mississippi State's kind of rolling.
Is Levis out still?
He's in. He practiced yesterday. So
all right, then Kentucky easy.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kentucky as well, +6.5.
They'll win that game, money line Kentucky if he's playing.
Rico.
Fuck. Because Mississippi State is rolling. But I don't think things go great for Leach. Like, Leach doesn't get to 11-1. Leach loses the one he's not supposed to. Nah, fuck it. You know what? Mississippi State -6.5.
Okay. Last up, USC Utah. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun game.
Did you do your research on this one?
I don't know what that means.
Do you know what helmets Utah is wearing?
No. They're wearing, what is that?
Dead
for
teammate.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I have to do my job, and
well, that's who you liked anyways, Dan. You've been all over them. In fact, I think that's your mortal luck.
Last year, Utah.
I'm starting to flip in my brain, Dave.
Last year,
to USC?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking USC. Why? Because you saw them get pummeled by UCLA.
No, I've actually been pretty good with Utah this year, and I don't think that they are not classic Utah. They do not have the run defense they used to have. They are not classic Utah, and I don't know. There's something about. Can
I give a speech?
Yes. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
Can I give a speech?
I know what you're going to say.
Because as long as this is something.
Yeah.
Dan has fallen for the banana in the tailpipe with Utah so many times. They go on the road, not very good. They go home where they have that artificial smoke or whatever the fuck it is, always all over the field.
I know.
You can't get a clear view. They got the Samoans coming out of the clouds to play for them. This is that game where they always win.
I'll take Utah.
Thank you.
But, man.
It's a double dead teammate game.
Double dead teammate game. You have to take Utah. They're both on the helmets.
Rest in peace, Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe, who
Okay.
died within a year of each other.
All right. -3.5. That's easy.
Dan.
Okay. God damn.
Utah.
All right, I'm going to take the over 265.
Lincoln Riley loves to sneak into the playoff too, like quiet. Like he's just made to people don't think USC will eventually lose. USC will eventually lose. He does a good job getting there. Dead teammate game, and to be honest with you, all week, Ev's a real sharp gambler. Ev's like, I fucking love Utah. I love Utah.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't want to fight it anymore. I'll just take Utah in the over, but I'm going
to take the over as well. Utah in the over.
That's
I don't
where
think USC stops them.
what Ev says.
I think Utah's. I think
saying,
USC is the better team. I really do.
That's what Ev is saying is what I was saying, and it's like, should I readjust my brain and be like, hey, this might not be Utah anymore, because they have.
It doesn't.
Okay,
It's the same coach. It's the same field.
All right,
and the quarterback can play. That's all you need.
But how they play, you might be onto something.
all right. We're all on Utah. It's fine. I just put a pin in this and remember it if it will kill me. You know what? I'll just take the over. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll just take the over. I will just take the over. That feels good. And I'll probably add Utah right before kickoff.
I'll see you at Saturday night.
Yeah, see you Saturday night. Okay, let's do our cards. Cards are brought to you by Vroom. With Vroom, you can buy a car entirely online and have it delivered straight to you, so you never have to go to the dealership again. With Vroom, you can browse thousands of cars in one place, so you don't have to spend your weekend driving out to a million different dealerships or meeting up with strangers to buy a car. And when you sell your car on Vroom, you get a price instantly, so you don't have to waste time at a dealership or deal with flaky buyers. This is a great app. Go to Vroom right now. Vroom is entirely online, so next time you need a car, just grab your phone, go to vroom.com, and check out thousands of great cars. This is also great because if you go to a dealership now, there's a lot of places like they don't have stock, they don't have the color you want. Go to Vroom, vroom.com, check out thousands of great cars today. Okay.
There's a lot of shortages, yeah.
Yeah.
People need cars.
Chip shortages. All right, Dave,
Yes.
your card.
All right, let's give it here. It's not a huge card. We've talked about a lot of them. All right, this game is the most obvious rat game probably in the history of at least the last 100 years.
Uh-oh.
Kansas +9 against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What the hell? I know the quarterback's out. The other kid's good. What? That's good. What am I missing?
Oklahoma's getting Gabriel back.
The
Right?
quarterback.
Should be. He should be back.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't think either of these teams there's a 9-point differential. I agree with you.
I'm taking Kansas in the over 63.
Love the over.
I already gave. No, I switched to Bama. I had Tennessee written down. Sponge square spodge pants. And I'm taking the over 65. Georgia -38 at home against Vandy. Oklahoma State +4.5 over 68. Michigan State at home against Wisconsin +7.5. Yeah, Wisconsin won big last week. Northwestern.
I gave you that one. That was another winner I gave you.
They barely should have a football team. So, like, Michigan State's no good, but that I think will be close. The over LSU, Florida, 51.5. Clemson -3.5 at FSU. FSU has come back down to earth. I think Clemson's really good.
Why is Clemson only 3.5 though? Doesn't that scare you?
No, that doesn't. I think that's the right line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a night game.
At Tallahassee, yeah. Kentucky +6.5 at home against Mississippi State. Utah -3.5 and the over 64.5. There it is. That's the card.
Okay, Rico.
Stanford +17. McKee is a good quarterback.
Who are they playing?
Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's improving, but this is a classic.
Notre Dame is vastly improving.
Think
Let's
it's
just say that.
And Stanford stinks.
Yeah. But let's just say
they've been
Notre
close.
Dame,
17.
Notre Dame
have they been
losing
close?
to Marshall is like that one's stuck in everyone's head. They are a lot better. But
They're
yeah,
definitely
that's a lot of points.
getting better, but
It's a
like
lot of
17 points. A desperate Stanford team who just lost.
What do you mean
on-
a desperate Stanford
They're
team?
like
They're
1
not
and
desperate
4.
for anything.
Okay.
I don't
You
know.
want to get a win in the?
Didn't they just win last week?
No, they lost.
Oh, they ended up losing that game?
They're like 1 and 4, right?
They're yeah,
bad.
but it is like I don't know. Is Northwestern desperate?
Is Colorado desperate?
Yeah. Okay.
They just stink. You can't be
But this is also a
inst-
Stanford team who went up and down the field with USC and was in that game and left a lot of points on the board, too. I watched every snap of that. Like, yeah, Stanford is having bad bounces go their way. They can still score some points if I'm catching 17 with a Notre Dame team that I don't
have
necessarily...
no problem with you taking the pick. I don't like it. I just don't think that when you're 1-4, you're beyond desperation.
It's one of the angles in there. Trust me, I don't love Stanford here, but it's I'm betting a number, not a team.
I just don't think desperation has anything to do with this.
All right. Kansas, Oklahoma, over 63. Daniel's likely out. Gabriel likely playing. The offense is a score. The defenses are really bad. 67 points combined, 861 yards on offense. 58 points allowed, 885 yards a game on defense. These teams are going to go up and down the field over 63. Plus, like Kansas, plus the 9. Kansas is going to be more. That kid Bean was good last week. Dave's going to hate this. Miami -7. Van Dyke threw for like 500 last week. I've obviously watched that game. I was on Carolina. The turnovers, they could have won the game. Virginia Tech is so bad. Grant Wells, he's fucking broken. This is a get-right game for Miami. I know it's a dangerous thing to say. Miami is way better than Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is bad. Miami -7. Oklahoma State TCU over 68. Talked about that with the overs. My favorite over team is back. UAB Charlotte over 63. UAB is going to run up and down the field with these guys. Charlotte can score with Reynolds at quarterback, and they keep coming. Quick possessions. They'll lose this game probably 50-30. This is an over. Save the lock. San Jose State -8. Fresno is in shambles. I like San Jose State's defense, one of the best scoring defenses in the country. And my boys are due for an outright upset. Wazoo plus the 3.5. Oregon State on a backup quarterback. Wazoo plays everybody tough. Beat Wisconsin. Should have had Oregon. Wazoo's a really good team. I think they go get this one plus the 3.5.
Okay. My card is Nebraska plus 14. Hold your nose and take it. I just think that Nebraska, Purdue doesn't run the ball. That's the weakness of Nebraska's defense. That one's gross. Kent State, Toledo over 61.5. BYU, UMass over 47. Buffalo, UMass over 47. BYU, Arkansas over 66. Arkansas's defense is so bad. BYU's defense is not very good either. KJ Jefferson is practicing. He's back. Wisconsin, Michigan State over 49. I know that was Northwestern, Dave, but they were doing stuff with Graham Mertz they have not done in the last 2 years, and it looks like they finally are trying to play to his strengths, moving him out of the pocket, play action. I'm feel like they might contend for the Big Ten West. That's probably stupid. Clemson -3.5. Kansas, Oklahoma over 63. Did I say UAB Charlotte over 63?
No, you didn't.
So I say that right there.
That's another good pick.
The rest of my card that we already discussed. I want to take UNC -7, but I'm not going to. I'm going to add more later.
All right.
I'll be ready.
Okay.
Since I'm not in the parlay and I don't have to go last, why don't you want to take UNC?
I don't know.
Okay, it's my lock of the week.
Okay.
Mac fucking owns them. I will be betting it at 6.5 like we always said. Mac owns them, 11-0 in the rivalry. The defense is playing a little bit better. Carolina quietly is in a spot to make the ACC title. Drake May's been fantastic at quarterback. Duke's second best wide receiver is out, and Duke has had a really weak schedule. Carolina has beaten some real teams. Duke lets teams go up and down on them with up and down offenses, which Carolina has. Carolina -6.5.
Okay.
Carolina -7 for the card. Dukes. I'm telling you right now, I'm betting it at 6.5.
You're buying the point.
You guys see the chrome helmets?
So it has to count as 7.
There's chrome helmets that came out too.
Yeah, on the card. If I do push, I'll take the push. Me personally, I'm betting the 6.
I'm going to put 7 on your card, but you can bet it at 6.5.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Aria.
I'll have TCU -4.
Okay. Bubba.
The LSU Florida over 51.5.
Okay. Hank.
Utah
-3.5. I'm taking, and then we'll do the pick and parlay. I'm taking Virginia Tech Miami over 46.5. I had Virginia Tech Pitt last week over. The Virginia Tech is not a very good team, but their totals are very low. They smashed that one. Miami can throw, and I don't trust their defense. Over 46.5, Virginia Tech Miami. Also, I forgot we have Wednesday night.
So then what do we think Miami's team total is?
I don't know.
30? I love that as well.
I forgot there's a game tonight. I'm taking ULL plus 10.5 tonight. It's Wednesday night football. Got to bet it.
Yeah, first Wednesday.
That's just a rule of mine. Got to bet.
Second Wednesday because of the hurricane.
Okay, the pick'em parlay is Katie.
I'm doing back to the well, Michigan, Penn State, first half under.
Okay.
26.5.
Ooh, I like that. Dukes.
Before I do my pick and parlay pick, I would have taken Temple plus 23.5 tomorrow night, so I'm not going to do that for the pick and parlay. I have one I love, though, for Saturday.
Add that to my card.
Add it. All right. And then USC Utah over 64.5. I think that I just see the offenses just exploding Saturday night in Utah, so yeah.
Okay.
Over.
Dave, finish us off for the pick and parlay.
It's not sexy. Georgia minus 38 at home against Vandy. I think Georgia kind of woke up in the second half. They couldn't be stopped. I think they can. Vanderbilt's terrible. They have 100 points to Ole Miss in the second half. So, I mean, I don't. Yeah, 38 minus 38. I think they win by 50.
Love it. Good show, boys. I feel like we did maybe a little
Get
progress.
that better help. Get that better help.
Feel good, Rico. I even feel the energy from you. This isn't gonna walk out here and be down. You're gonna be up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just put our head down and we work our asses off. Thank you, Dave. See you guys.